back to my channel. Today, starting today, we'll be trying to finish my TBR for the month of January. As you can see, there is a lot of books. Will I get to all of them? Probably not. So I'm currently reading Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan. I'm liking it so far. I'm not very far into it, so I do want to finish this today. One fact about me is that I like to read multiple books at a time, so we're gonna pick out another book, but I just don't know what it's going to be. So I think the other book that I'm going to be reading today is Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. I am a huge Deanna Gray fan. I've read Sunny Disposition and Teen Player, and I really enjoyed both of them, so I'm really excited to dive into this. And I love a good enemies to lovers. The cover is just really pretty, so I cannot wait to dive into this. For the rest of the weekend, you're going to be following me along as I hopefully get through as many books off of my TBR as possible. Hi guys, I haven't said anything today to the vlog, so hello. I just wanted to come on here and tell you that I actually finished Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan. I think I'm gonna give this 2.5 stars or 3 stars. I'm still debating on the star rating. I'm gonna talk about what I liked about the book first. We got to visit all of these different places, and the way that a lot of these places were described were really cool. What I didn't like about this book was that I felt like the descriptions of all the places were very long. and I felt like this book could have been 100 pages shorter. Basically, we're following Lucy, and she gets invited to a wedding with her cousin Charlotte. They both end up going, and it's in Capri, Italy. The way that it's described, very pretty, gorgeous, scenery is amazing. She sets her eyes on this guy named George, and George is kind of beneath her, but she is infatuated by him. She really likes him. Everyone, especially Charlotte, is against her being with him. They get caught doing something, and Charlotte starts panicking, and Lucy is like, but I really like this guy. He's not the guy that my family would like. They end up breaking off. They stop talking, and then we follow them a couple of years later, and now Lucy is engaged to a different guy who's kind of a jerk. My humble opinion, I don't really like the guy. You know, he's into all of the flashy stuff. She's just not really into that, you know what I mean? And she sees George for the first time again since that night. Sparks fly, things happen. Now here's the problem. When we got to about 80% of the book, that's when we saw George again. So all of this whole like section, middle section here, was just a bunch of stuff. What I liked about the book too, though, was the fact that we were talking about identity. There's a lot of talk about class and wealth. You have the wealthy, you have the rich, and then you have the crazy rich. I thought it was okay. I just felt like the pacing of this was kind of slow at times. Overall, it was okay. Now I'm actually going to start Outdrawn by Deanna Gray, and I've heard really good things about this book. According to the title, this is a sapphic enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers romance. And I'm excited. I don't know what this is about, but we'll see how this one goes. And, oh my god, there's little pictures in here. Okay, so update time. Sorry about the bad lighting, but I finished Outdrawn by Deanna Gray, and now I gotta pick out my next book. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I picked out 5 options. One I think I might just read tonight because it's short and it's a manga. This is the 16th volume of the Promised Neverland series, which I've absolutely been loving. I think there's about 4 more left, so I definitely want to get my hands on that. Okay, the other option I have is Not for the Faint of Heart by Lex Croucher, which I'm really excited about. And I have this library book, Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, which I've heard really good things about. We have Rouge by Mona Awad. And then I've heard really good things about this one. It's Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. I also have her other book that people have been raving about, so I kind of want to read this one. Also, I kind of want to color right now, so it has to be something I have on audio. Luckily, all of these I have on audio, so I can pick. I think I'm gonna pick the library book just because it's shorter. Tomorrow is gonna be the last day of this reading challenge, so if I finish this tonight, I'll definitely pick up something else tomorrow. Then I'm gonna read this one, and then we'll see how far I get. Hopefully this is good and it will keep me engaged. It also was Reese's book club pick at one point. I love most of Reese Witherspoon's book club picks, so I think this is going to be a good one. I'm also doing some rearranging in the room because I didn't like that this whole little corner thing was covered. That really bothered me. So I moved the chair to this corner. However, I'm going to have to move the projector to this wall over here because now it's facing this way and it'll be hard for me to see something if I put it over there. So I think we're going to try and move it to right here. We'll see how well that works. And honestly, that is better because then I'll have an extra shelf and a room for more books. So that's going to be good. I'll probably check back in either some point tonight or probably tomorrow morning. Okay guys, I wanted to do a little bit of an update on my reading. I only got a couple pages in and then I passed out. This morning, I actually started listening to Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. I just realized that Meryl Streep narrates the book, so I was like, I have to listen to it. So I'm gonna immersive read this, and I think this is gonna be really good. Also, this is a library book, so I'm gonna have to return this soon, so I'm actually glad I'm reading it now. It's so far starting off well. I'm intrigued of the storyline and stuff. I'm not that far in. I'm probably maybe 10 pages in, honestly, but besides the point. But today's the last day of this little finishing up my TBR video, so we're gonna read as much as I can today, and I also have to edit this video so it can go up tomorrow. I also made coffee. I love this mug. It says a day without coffee is just kidding. I have no idea. That's exactly like me, because I don't think I've ever gone a day without coffee. I just cleaned out the dishwasher, and now I'm gonna go sit in my reading room and read. To give a little bit of an update, I kind of took a break from reading and made some breakfast, but I just want to talk about this series because I feel like this series doesn't get a lot of love. I really love this manga series. This was actually the first manga series I've ever read, and I am enjoying it so far. This particular volume, this is volume 16, so I think there's 20 volumes in total. In this particular volume, we're meeting a new character, which is really cool. She was reminding me a little bit of this character from The Last Kingdom. What I also love about this series are the main characters. We're following Emma and Ray mostly in this book. We also follow Norman in this book as well, but he kind of leaves and then comes back. But what I like about these characters is that they question their authority, and the things that are wrong, they are trying to make a change. And in order for them to do that, they have to kind of go against the authority and the people that kind of are taking over. I really enjoy the series. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't read it. I'm already, like I said, 16 volumes in, so I don't really want to spoil anything by talking too much about it. I recommend this series if you're into fantasy, speculative fiction, things like that. I feel like you would enjoy this manga series. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, Mia, you read manga? And I'm like, yeah, I do. It's fun. It's interesting. I actually had owned the first book in this series for a long time and had not read it. And then I think last year or the year before last, I picked it up and I was shocked because the first cover, which looks like this, I didn't know what the book was about, and I didn't know anything about this world or anything. So the first book looked like a cute little manga, and I wanted to get into manga, so that's why I picked it up. And I was like, oh, this looks cute. Let's pick it up. And then I read it, and I was like, oh, this isn't cute. This is kind of scary. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm kind of upset that I don't have the last 4 volumes because I would have loved to finish this series. But overall, like I said, you're into fantasy, speculative fiction, sci-fi, things like that, I feel like you would really enjoy this. I find these mangas great palette cleansers. I've read other mangas too since I've started this, and this has been the best one so far. I also have another manga series that people recommended to me, and then another one that I might start once I finish this. The first one is Spy Family, which I heard really good things about, and then the other one that I've heard really good things about is One Punch, I think it's called. One Piece. One Piece. This is the cover for it. And also, I forgot to mention, there is a TV show. However, if you have read the books first, the TV show is very different from the books. The TV show does take liberties, and there's only, I think, 2 or 3 seasons. The first season actually did a pretty good job with sticking to the books, but then once after that, it kind of went down a different path, and I was like, oh, well, there's the story. I'm currently watching Game of Thrones. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's a comfort show now. It has to be on in the background. Let me tell you what I do with Game of Thrones. I skip around, okay? I don't watch every single episode 365 days a year. I truly just skip around until I get to the parts that I want to watch. So, for example, after like John and Jorah Mormont and all of those people go past the wall, after I watched that, I skipped to The Long Night. Sue me. Because I just finished reading the books. Well, I didn't finish, actually. I have one more book left, and she's thick. I haven't gotten to that one yet, but the books are vastly different from the TV show, to the point where some of the plot points that I felt like were missing in the TV show, if the books ever get like an ending, I feel like those plot holes will be filled. There's also characters in there that you don't meet in the TV show like at all, not even acknowledged or talked about or nothing. And there's certain characters that I just wish they put in there. Anyway, I'm watching that right now. Long story short to say, I'm gonna continue reading this. I'll probably finish this in the next 20-30 minutes, and then we'll pick up Tom Lake. I just want to add this part because I think this is important, and I think people should take something away from this. It says, whether we choose peace or to battle it out, we aim to win for all humankind. Without discrimination against countries, ranks, or ideologies, let's protect all people. And I think that's what we all need to be doing right now. I'm just going to leave it at that and continue reading. It's the next day and I want to come on here and wrap up this video. I'm going to apologize in advance because the wind is so loud that you can probably hear it through the phone, so I apologize. I wanted to give my final thoughts on the books I read this weekend and kind of give my final rating. The first book I finished was Sex and Vanity by Kevin Kwan. I gave this book 2.5 stars. I just thought the pacing was a little off for me. Next, I finished Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. I gave this book 4 stars. I really like this book. This is a rivals to lovers sapphic romance following these two artists who had this underlying feud since they've been in school together. One of them is a really successful and the other one is still up and coming, but they both have to work together and it's a fun time. The next book I ended up finishing was a manga, and it is The Promised Neverland volume number 16, and I love this series so much. This book was really cool too, because it kind of leaves you off in a cliffhanger, and we also got to meet a really cool character. And then the last book that I actually didn't finish, I got to about 50% of the way through, and that is Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I love the writing style. I also like the fact we're following this mother who was an actress and is kind of reminiscing / revealing some of the things she experienced as an actor as a young kid with barely any experience. We get to see her 3 daughters and their relationship dynamic. I am really enjoying this so far, and I can't wait to see what happens at the end. So yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I would love for you to click the like button and subscribe to my channel, and please click the notification bell at the bottom of the screen so you can get notified when I post. Keep on reading, y'all.